Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Survivor 49 player rankings, in which we are on episode 5, which, fun fact, fucking sucked. This episode was so goddamn boring. Nothing of intrigue happened. Nothing changed edit-wise of substantial note. It's just more of the same, with an incredibly generic boot to boot. The episode kind of fucking sucked, if I'm being honest. With that being said, let's go tribe by tribe, starting with the Kella tribe and Alex, who continues to get content, which I think at this point is starting to be a bit of a negative for me. Mind you, he is on the right side of the seeming Shannon downfall that is ever impending. So that's neat, I guess. Beyond that, like I said last episode, I just don't think he's that riveting of a character. And truthfully, I mean, there's nothing of substantial note to really remark about his edit, anyways. So there you go. He was there. Following that, we have Sage, who got a bit of a resurgence here. We got to see her being revered, in a sense, for calling out Shannon on all of her bullshit. So, love that. Still not a huge Sage fan, but love that. Beyond that, I just think ultimately she's not in the best spot, but seems to have created a buffer for herself. And beyond that, is just sorta there. So there you go. Following this, we have Steven, who I do think is by far the most developed Hina character. It's not even close by this point. We see his rivalry with Shannon developing further. We get to see his bond with MC getting stronger. See his relationship between him and Alex forming. Steven's just sort of by far the best edit of the Hina tribe, but this still means he's probably not top 5, which just goes to show how shit the edits of Hina are. Following this, we have Shannon, who is taking a massive tumble down the edit, in which Shannon was just so dunked on in this episode, with her alliance seeming to be entirely made up in her own head, essentially. Beyond that, not really seeming poised to be in a great spot, being the clear boot if they go to tribal, especially with Hina now taking a second loss in Jason. It's like Hina now absolutely need to strike back at Uli as quick as they can, and Shannon seems like the easiest boot within that. So I see no real benefit in Shannon's edit at this point. Following this, we have MC, who is weird. MC went on the journey, which you would think, oh, a journey, inherently that's going to be good for content, right? Well, not really whenever she gets undercut by Nate and very bizarrely executed personal content. Like, I'm glad that it's there, but also, why was it in that spot and used to prop her up after she failed at something? I don't know. I've been a pretty solid defender of MC before this point, but I think she's slowly but steadily getting lower on my list. Following that, we have Christina, who once again just isn't getting a lot, which is a shame because I do really like Christina, but it's just she's getting nothing. And following that, we have Sophie Sagrati. And moving on to the Hina tribe, we have the boot from this episode. We have Jason, which, yeah, I feel bad for Jason. I liked the guy. I liked the kid. I thought he was a fun presence. I thought he was a nice guy. It's a shame to see him go in this way. Just sort of getting swap screwed. And it seemed like he just never really stood a chance. He probably is like the second highest rated player on the ranking right now. It's either him or Jeremiah. I do think he's above Matt simply by the virtue of him surviving over Matt, so that's good. Beyond that, though, not much more to say about Jason. Just sort of a lacking placement here for him. Beyond that, we have Jawan, who continues to be ass at everything. but he was pretty funny this episode at least. So good on Jawan for that. We see him contemplate trying to make a move to save Jason that never goes anywhere. And Jawan being set up as a backup target as well is bad. It's clear Jawan is just not gonna be in a good spot this game. So it's a toughie for him. I feel bad for the guy, but also he's really ass, so not really. Moving on, we have the winner of Survivor 49. We have Savannah, who continues to by far get the best edit, continuing to be filled with the most heavily edited person on the season, but not in a way to where it feels like she's being overwrought or being just strung out consistently. It seems like her content is very purposeful and very meaningful whenever they put it in. It's just crazy how she continuously is just getting the perfect style of content again and again. It really does, in my opinion, feel somewhat, I don't know. It feels almost too perfect to a degree. I don't know. I still think by far the best edit here, though. So, it is what it is. Following this, we have Nate, who I think overtakes Rizzo for me this episode. I think Nate's solidly third on the totem pole. He continues to get pretty good content, ends up undercutting MC to a pretty solid degree on the journey. He's, in my opinion, clearly playing the best game of the season up to this point, really holding Uli strong and just controlling his tribe with an iron fist to a degree. I think he's just in a very strong spot and ultimately is poised to do very well here. I don't know necessarily if he's going to win, but I don't think a lot of these edits are leading to a win, so what can you really do at this point? And speaking of the person that I ended up putting below Nate, we have Rizzo, who just isn't getting a lot still, which is weird because you would think Rizzo would be a much more pronounced and a lot more exuberant character across the season, but it's just like he's barely being shown. And when he is being shown, he's just sort of a part of this Uli power structure in which Nate's getting more of the focus and Savannah's getting more of the focus. So it's just like, what is Rizzo doing? I don't know. I don't know, man. And then beyond that, we have Sophie B, who got a very quiet episode. This is by far her quietest episode, but I actually really like that for her, as it shows us seeing her ultimately get this sort of cooldown to which we can finally breathe a bit from our content and it not seem like it's being super heavy-handed, kind of like what is happening to a degree with her other Kella partner, Alex. But yeah, not much more else to say past that. Let's just move on to the power ranking. At the dead bottom, like I said before, I'm going to have to put Shannon. I just think that there's nothing redeeming about Shannon's edit at this point. Clearly being poised for a fall. If Shannon isn't the next boot, I will be stunned. Beyond that, I think it's got to be Christina. Just not much going for her. Still being very, very minimally shown. Just not a great look at this point, in my opinion, for her edit. After then, Jawan makes sense at 10. Another person who just continues to be undermined again and again. Ultimately is just being shown to be on the bottom and could have went had things went a little differently this episode. So I'm not feeling great about Jawan either. After Jawan seems fair for Sage. Somebody who I think is getting a bit more capital, but I don't think is going to amount to a win or that deep of a run here. So I think Sage at that spot makes sense. Following that, I said they were going to take a bit of a drop, and I agreed to it. MC goes one spot down, which feels like it should have been higher, but it's just sort of sentiments to how bad a lot of these people's edits are. So after this, it's a bit tricky for me. I think it has to just be Alex followed by Steven, though. I just think everybody else on the Hina tribe just has a better edit at this point, which is crazy. After that point, I think Rizzo is fair. I think Rizzo's content has been getting a little weaker, so that seems reasonable to me. After Rizzo, I think Sophie, having a bit of that cooldown, I think I can drop her a bit. But I still feel pretty good about her, and I think whenever she gets more content again and we see her resurgence, I'm going to bump her back up to second pretty quickly. After then, I'm going to put Nate, who I just think had another really strong episode. So Nate at 3, I think makes sense. Um, hmm. 1 and 2 is tough. 1 and 2 is tough. At number 2, though, I'm gonna go with Queen Sophie Segurati. Because we stan her and we love her, and she had the best episode of all time. So, number 2, Sophie Segurati, love you. And number 1 has to be Savannah. Just it's Savannah. Come on. So yeah, that's the power ranking. This season is getting so fucking stale already, so can't wait to talk about it more and more. Hope that you all enjoy these, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.